Hello there everyone, welcome to this week's Gran Turismo 7 Daily Race C Race and Strategy Guide, or to be more precise, a preview of this week's Daily Race C from the Nurburgrung 24-hour layout in the Group 3 machinery. We've got 3 laps to get round, we've got tyre wear at ×1, fuel at ×1, just the racing hard tyres, and there's no mandatory rules. So this is just an out and out sprint race for 3 laps around the Nurburgring. BOP is on, damage is light, it's a rolling start, and unfortunately once again slipstream is custom. So custom slip, or to be more precise, bonkers insane strong slip, now seems to be a thing in daily races, so congratulations to all those last to first drivers who weren't able to adapt your drive and didn't actually want to earn an overtake on the driver in front. Now you can look like a super awesome driver as you make your way through the pack, while the rest of us have to deal with the absolute calamity that custom slipstream brings to the midfield. Meow Wombo. Okay, mini rant over, let's move on to the race action. Now if you're wondering why there's no dynamic weather in this one, it's because they're actually using one of the time trial settings that you can select if you go into World Circuits for the conditions in this one. Something they've been doing very often in daily races just recently. You can basically check using the cloud formations to see that it's identical. So I knew going into this race there was going to be no dynamic weather. It was very much just going to be a sprint race for 3 laps around the Nurburgring in dry conditions. Made up a couple of positions at the start there, or one position at the start, and then we're going to make up a second position as we go down the inside of Hogston here, but it was a pretty poor move to be honest with you. Apologies to Hogston, but it seemed to be like really low grip on the hard tyres here in these kind of pretty cold conditions, I would imagine. I never actually caught the temperature at the beginning, but yeah, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of grip, and if you're just a little bit late with your braking, you'll go wide, as that Supra has found out there. Very unforgiving in terms of trying to correct your braking, which, you know, not necessarily a bad thing. Made up another position there as Big Steph went off the track. 2 cars are off the track here as well. Looks like maybe Turbo accidentally punted Shelty, because going into the carousel they're going to run wide and let me through, and I'm assuming that was to maybe let Shelty back through as well. That puts up into P9, and we're going to jump all the way forward to lap 3, because P9 is kind of where we stayed, bar a few little changes of position between me and Turbo, who passed us on the straight, and then we were able to then pass them down into the hairpin here at the beginning of lap 3 to move up into P8, and it was all looking pretty good. We were kind of managing to pull away. I could see P Wombo up ahead though, and unfortunately that resulted in me maybe just pushing a little bit too much round at the fast left-hander here. We went off the track, we kind of rejoined in the middle of the track right in front of Turbo, so that was pretty poor on my part. We then got a little bit of a bump draft, and with dirty tyres and bumping off the curb we went off the track again. So all kind of unravelled here midway through the 3rd lap, unfortunately, putting us down into P11 with the Porsche going down our inside there. P11 out of 12 at this point. Fortunately for us though, there was to be probably a result of that silly custom slipstream, a little bit of an accident going down into the last couple of corners between Turbo and Steph, and as Turbo waited up for Steph, who was spun out, that allowed us to move back up into P9. So overall, not the most interesting race. One thing you do want to be noting though is actually nearly 25 minutes long, so you will be kind of cutting it pretty fine to get into the next race if you're doing back-to-back races, so do be careful of that. But yeah, as I said, not the most interesting race in terms of what I like to see in a daily race C, but this will be a popular race because a lot of people just like sprint races. A lot of people can't be bored with tyre wear, they don't want to deal with fuel consumption, and it is the Nurburgring, so a lot of people will be right into this. So I'm happy for them, but for me, just not really quite what I'm looking for. I have definitely done a lot more with the settings in order to try and make this one a little bit more interesting. Nothing to do with the fact that I'm a little bit rubbish at the track and usually languish at the back by myself, and with no strategy to keep me interested. Yeah, maybe I'm a little bit biased when it comes to this one. Also, the addition of that custom slipstream is just going to create so much chaos in the midfield with the big long drags where people are just closing up on each other. So yeah, not the best week for me in terms of Daily Race C, but I must admit Daily Race A and B are looking quite interesting this week. So with all that said, Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye now.